Hey, what's up guys? My name is Doing Stuff Man, and today we're going to do something a little different on this channel. I've tried doing content like this before, but it was more showing off a strat that I like to run, and this one today is going to be more about general Siege knowledge. I pulled a couple of friends of mine and went to Reddit for inspiration for this video to come up with a few tips that can help new players improve their Siege IQ and their game in general. So, as you may or may not be aware, Siege has a pretty steep learning curve. Sometimes I can feel like it's 90 degrees straight up. It was definitely that way for me when I started. And while there's for sure no shortage of educational content out there, a lot of it is being presented by high-level players who might be using words and phrases and shorthand for the game that you might not understand as a new player. So, being a hard-stuck gold player myself, I thought it'd be a good idea to give my take on this as someone who's still basically learning the game. So, big shout out to r/Siege Academy for giving me a couple of the tips in this video, or at least the inspiration for those tips. So without further ado, here are 3 things I wish someone had told me when I started playing Siege. Enjoy.
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
Okay, so our first clip comes to you from this ranked game that I played on Clubhouse recently. And this chip is from Trepanation by 45, which basically boils down to effectively use your gadget for your team. Know how to prioritize what you're doing with your primary and your secondary gadgets, and basically make sure that everything you're doing has a purpose to it. This is actually a 2-for-1 clip right here. I'm going to let this round play out, and we'll pause and take a look at some things in greater detail in a bit. Smoke's on top main. Okay, so let's talk about this shield right here. This is pretty good shield placement because it makes it harder for me to peek the smoke on main stairs. Because normally I could just crouch peek this, or I could keep him from pushing fully up the stairs. But it forces me to hold a little bit of an angle that I wouldn't necessarily want to hold, and would protect the smoke if he wants to rotate back into master bedroom. Not a perfect example of perfect shield placement, but it did catch my attention at the time, and I thought it was important to bring it up here. But let's take a look at what happens next.
Ping.
DC, if you want to come to bathroom, or gym, I can just smoke it.
I also have smokes. Yeah, we're gonna try and smoke plant gym.
Someone's
He's gonna
just
have
chilling
to-
in secret.
He's gonna have to come through the road.
One still in bathroom.
On ping.
Okay, so this is the main point of the clip that I was trying to make, is the placement of my smoke grenade here. Smoking off the rotate makes sure that the enemy has to push either through that smoke or through the gym door. I could have smoked right in front of me and planted in the smoke, but not only would that leave the rotate and gym both free, but it would also block line of sight for my teammates to cover both of those entries into sight. By smoking off one of them, it forces the defenders to either push through the smoke into my teammates' line of fire, or because they have no footholds shot into the wall or another rotate, they have to swing onto the jacuzzi hallway at 90 to peek the gym door. In both instances, the window is covered by my teammates, keeping me safe for the plant. And again, like I just mentioned, one thing that the defenders could have done differently is to shotgun holes at foot level in this wall on the gym to the right here, so that I can't safely plant really anywhere. It would kind of have forced me to plant in a smoke grenade, which again blocks line of sight for my teammates. So knowing how the site is set up and how to prioritize your gadget use in these certain situations is critical. So let's see how the rest of this round plays out.
It's secret.
Planting?
Shotgun. There's one down on ping behind the bed.
Bomb diffusion initiated. Protect the diffuser.
I got smoked.
On ping.
Nice, good job.
Op 4
Nice.
neutralized. Mission successful.
Smoke was trying to get a smoke charge on me, and I was just like,
Just know this is where you stop. Okay, moving on. Tip number 2 comes to us from Imaginary AI. And this is also something I had planned on doing, but I really like the quote that he put here. And again, this person in particular has been playing since beta, so everyone's in the learning phase. But his tip was drone thoroughly and react on intel. AIM wins gunfights, intel wins games. And this cannot be understated. So, same deal as before. I'm going to let this clip play out. We'll go into further detail in just a bit.
Where they're at, though?
Yeah.
Rooney's, no, she's done. She's reinforcing the hatch right now. She's going up fireplace stairs. Top fireplace. Going into trophy now. Oh no, she's going trophy hall. Boarding it up on one ping. She's looking down at fireplace. If, TJ, if you're on K9, you could get her.
Her again?
Yeah. Live ping.
Got her, thank you.
Yep. So this is a really good example of acting on intel really quick. This was active intel. There's a popular saying that I really like in this game that intel is only good for 5 seconds in Siege. And in this case, it might have been true, might have not been. She looked like she was ready to hold a long angle that really could have screwed us over later in the round. Those holes she was punching in the floor can see all the way down to the garage where the site was. But I had a drone up. Rooney did not look for that. That's a mistake on her part. I conveyed this information to a friend of mine who I was pretty sure was in that area, and he was able to act on it and pick up a kill. We will end up winning this round. I'm not going to show you the whole rest of it, but I will show you why we almost lost.
Reloading!
Well, that's an insane angle she was trying to do.
Reloading!
Oh my god.
Alright, so this one's a little bit of a callback to the first tip about prioritizing the effectiveness of your primary and secondary gadgets. Our ace did not do this in this circumstance. He used one of his Selma charges to open up that little hole in the floor underneath the mirror window that you can see to the left of my crosshair. That, while it does block off the use of the mirror window as anyone playing behind it could get their feet shot out, it also opened up Wine Cellar a little bit more into snowmobile garage, and I think Mozzie gets at least 2 or 3 kills through that hole in the floor, or somebody does, but it almost costs us the round. Fortunately, TJ was able to clutch up and we won this one, but let's move on to tip number 3.
I've been doing that on this Smurf account, is just taking Echo and just roaming. It surprisingly worked.
Yo, that's not how you play Echo. He's supposed to anchor and then I plant. MP5 go brrr. Alright, so tip number 3 is a little bit more in line with tip number 1. It's understand the significance of the things that you do on any given operator. And for this one, I want to show you a little pocket strat that I like to run on Coastline for the hookah and billiards take. We're going to let things play out and I'll come back and show you the reasoning behind why I'm doing the things that I'm doing in this clip.
My rotate hole was a little fucked up and was rubber banding me, so I had to make it big.
Op 4 has found a bomb.
Door barricaded!
That's a silly place to put that. Put it more over the side. Oh, wow.
No one reinforced back wall, by the way.
I'll get
5
it.
seconds and counting. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
I hear Goyle helping you, I think.
145!
Pest is ready. Perimeter secured.
Okay, I chose a castle clip for a very specific reason, and that's because if you don't know what you're doing on castle, you can really screw over your team, and I was guilty of that as a new player as well. Castle's very difficult to understand if you're new, so let's go into detail about this setup. So that first castle barricade on the billiards window is kind of self-explanatory. It just keeps a long angle from ruins. Say if they have a Glaz or a Cali or someone with a DMR, they can't really snipe anybody in billiards from out in ruins. This castle barricade here on VIP, as well as the 2 reinforced walls, keeps any attackers pushing from VIP from cutting the site in half that way. They can't open the angle on the wall without using any hard utility, and they have to breach the castle barricade in order to wide swing into the VIP hall. And then this castle barricade here, as well as the rotate, keeps billiards safe. So if this castle barricade wasn't here on this door to billiards from Aqua, and the attackers were to take control of Aquarium, they would have a clear line of sight all the way through billiards to the rotate into Hookah, effectively cutting the site in half. And in this circumstance, I'm going to be holding Aqua behind the bar, as you're about to see, to prevent attackers from destroying that castle barricade for free. And the rotate, obviously, is so I have an escape route if I need it. Otherwise, I'm kind of boxed out of sight. And you really, as a castle especially, you don't want to box yourself or your teammates out of sight intentionally. If one of our roamers is playing in VIP, for example, I might still reinforce the walls, but I'm not going to castle barricade the door, because that prevents him from rotating out of VIP if he's getting pushed really hard and can make it out. And as you're about to see, we're going to end up winning this round partially because of the actions I took to hold VIP. Sounds like she's in VIP. Yeah, VIP door. But guess what? She can't cut sight in half.
15 seconds left.
Pushing up. On 3.
Time expires in 10 seconds.
Back in VIP. Nice.
Op 4 eliminated.
Oh, I actually hit her through the wall. Okay.
Dude, I
Yeah, you
love that castle hold. Okay, so before we wrap up, I just want to bring your attention to this screenshot here really quick. There is nowhere for this Sophia to go except into a crossfire. If those walls in VIP were soft, she could open it with her grenade launcher and have cut off the person in billiards, or at least taken a gunfight without fear of a crossfire. But because of those walls, she has nowhere to go except out in the open.
Me, and I didn't know who you were talking to or what about. I just saw a ghost and that was it.
That's because I'm me.
What the
That's another meeting at the Crocodile
hell?
Club.
Oh my god, I hate my life so much.
I did not wait to see Casey's perspective on this.
I'm looking at the hatch! Let me drive!
Ow.
And as soon as I hop in the tank, this Marine is like, alright,
Fuck
let's
my
move forward! Da, 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 da.
Casey, if you come back there and get in the hatch first time,
Dude, I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at the hatch. I'm looking at it. I'm staring right at it, and it either throws me in the gunner seat or it throws me on the passenger treads on the side. So this is a little bit of a callback to the tip I just showed you guys before about prioritizing your effectiveness of
what a fucking pre-fire. This is just a fucking hope and a prayer. Wow.